Hi guys, I'm Corey Abraham. I'm the founder of Team Arete. I am an 8-star, 1-star, 2-star combined diamond, and I am, 9-star qualifying. So I am a lawyer by degree, but I am staying at home with my baby, my 8-month-old and my 3-year-old here in Dallas, Texas. And so anyway, I am tasked with talking to you guys about challenge groups today and just how important they are, and a little bit about how I run mine and give you some ideas, hopefully. They're the bread and butter of your business. I am a personal trainer. I was during law school and undergrad and grad school, and a group exercise instructor. So this is what I love. Challenge groups are one of my very favorite things about coaching. I love the interaction with the challengers. I love watching the challengers change their whole lives and transform their lives, and the compound effect and the way that has a domino effect into their families' lives. And it's just amazing. So anyway, they're so important. A lot of you probably came from challenge groups yourselves. You already fell in love with the products. You have a transformation. A lot of our best, on my team, a lot of the best coaches are former challengers. And what you want to do is just to create an amazing experience for all of your challengers, so that they're talking about it, and when they're talking about it, they're naturally excited. So they're talking about it, and people are asking them what they've done to have so much more energy and be so much more positive and lose all this weight, and they can tell them about you. And not everybody's suited to coach, and that's okay, but they will be great referrals for you, a great referral source for you, if they decide not to coach. And some of them will decide to coach and go on and be rock star coaches, as I said. So anyway, it all starts with a challenge group. Every single one of you guys should at least have one every single month or more paid challenge groups. So you can have a free one, that's fine if you're a new coach especially, but you should have at least one paid challenge group a month. You should know in advance when that's going to start, because you don't want to just decide, willy-nilly, oh, let's just start it next Monday, that's a good day. I mean, you need to actually plan it out and think about the best time for your schedule. You're not going to plan it right before you go on vacation, and the best time for challengers. You're not going to necessarily start one the week of Christmas, because who's really going to be engaged in wanting to get fit for the first time over the Christmas, the week of Christmas? It's not a great option. So you really want to look at a calendar and figure that out, and you want to start advertising a couple weeks out. But what you want to do, for me, I like my groups about 30 to 45 days. Beyond that is really just too much, and I feel like the interaction falls off. So I really try to keep them about that length. 21 days is a little too short for me. Some coaches love that. So you just kind of find out what works for you or what works for your team. 30 days is a good amount though. And then I sometimes will do a full prep week, or I'll do 4 or 5 days of prep. And you don't want to throw somebody into a challenge group that's starting the very next day without any prep, because they're going to already feel behind, and they're going to feel a little overwhelmed, and they're going to probably quit, or at least not be all in and as committed, because they can't follow it exactly. So make sure that you add them into the group with plenty of time to prepare meals, go over meal planning with them, give them recipe ideas, all of those things, set up expectations for them. I like to load the group, the Facebook group, load all the documents into it before I add anyone. And I will add Shakeology recipes and like 21-day fix if we're doing the fix recipes, whatever the program is, recipes that are according to that meal plan. So those kinds of things I like to add in, how to take your measurements, how to take your before photos, just a welcome message and a little video from me, from the other coaches, something like that. And we want everybody to introduce themselves as soon as we add them. So that's one of the things that we'll have all of them do. You can create a really cute picture for free on Canva, canva.com. If you don't have Photoshop or one of those other accounts, Canva works just fine. Something cute, come up with a clever name. Make a picture of yourselves even on the cover page, all the different coaches in the group. Sometimes I run groups, generally I run groups with other coaches on my team. So especially by new coaches, will run at least one group with me before they do their own. So I always have, or a coach who only has 1 or 2 challengers, you can always add, combine with somebody else within your team and run a challenge group together. So you're not stuck with your one challenger trying to do a group by yourself, because that's probably not going to be very fun for anyone. You guys have all been in groups where people don't talk at all, right? And they're so frustrating, and you're trying to get people to talk and nobody does. And so, what do you do in those cases? Well, it helps a lot if you set the expectations up before the group ever begins. You guys probably already know that the more engaged they are, if they're checking in every single day, there's a direct correlation to how successful they're going to be. So you really want to lay that out there and make sure they know that that's the expectation. You expect them to check in every single day. And that's vague, right? So some people are like, I don't even know what that means. What am I supposed to say? So tell them, what does that look like? So in my groups, we have a little point system, and I'll go through that in a minute. But so what that looks like is you're going to encourage other people. You're going to tell us, you're going to rate your day and tell us how you did on the workout, how you did on the food, whatever. You're just going to spell it all out. So there's no guesswork. So sometimes they need that. They need you to tell them exactly what's expected of them. So do that in the beginning and then get that out of the way. But videos work really great. Don't be afraid. Don't think you have to look perfect. Geez, I don't ever, like I said, I'm a mom of two young children. So I'm never put together like ever. So that's real, right? That's real life. So you'll hear a baby crying sometimes, whatever. Just the important thing is that it's you. So you make a video to welcome them. Also, I like a lot of times to do a Zoom call with my challengers right before a couple days before the group's going to start, just to they're going to have some butterflies. They're not going to know what to expect. You just kind of break the ice, go over that, just introduce yourself, have them introduce themselves. Then it's more natural when they're engaging in the group because they feel like they know each other a little bit better and they're more connected to each other and also to you. And so that's going to help you in the long run. So that's really important, I think. And they're not all going to be there, and that's totally fine, but set it up. And you might even give like a little raffle prize for somebody among the people who go, they get their name in a raffle, and then they get a fixate or whatever it is. You can set it up that way. But, okay, I'm checking my list over here to make sure I cover everything. But again, the expectations at the beginning, check the pin post. Like a lot of people don't understand on a phone, it's not going to show up, so they actually have to click on check pin post or whatever it is, and make sure that's clear. Make sure they understand that so they're not missing a lot of posts. Turn on the notifications for the group unless it's a crazy huge group. I keep mine pretty small because I like to really pour myself into my challengers, so I don't really like too terribly many. I like to get to know everyone pretty well, but that's just a personal preference, so I can not go crazy with all the notifications. Anyway, and then once you start, you really want to add value to your groups. Beyond a free group, beyond the value you add on a like page or your personal page, these are the people who've trusted you, who are taking this journey with you, who might be your future coaches. You really want to add value. So, show up, be there every single day, and not just posting. I love like Buffer and Postcron and some of those other sites you can use. If you're unfamiliar, those are sites where you can schedule all the posts within your group. And those are great if you want to post every day at 6 a.m. or whatever, and you're not going to be there to sit down at the computer or at your phone at 6 a.m. That's fine, but don't let that be an excuse, because a lot of times we do that and we don't come back to the group. And the whole point of scheduling is so we can spend our time doing other things, right? But we still need to check in with the group and be present in the group. And if we have a challenger in there and we're asking our challenger to do something, we dang sure better be doing that too, if they're not going to do it. So we set the expectations, and then we also said we have to be the examples. So we're the ones commenting on everybody's post and encouraging and all of that. And certainly we want them to do the same, but show up every single day. That kind of goes without saying, right? I mean, if you're here, you're working your business, you're probably preaching to the choir. You're the ones showing up. So just make sure you continue to do that and don't just drop and roll like I tell my team sometimes with a challenger. If you only have one and you think, oh, they'll be fine because there are other coaches in the group or whatever, that's not acceptable. It's your challenger. Again, they don't know those other coaches. They invested in you. They paid money to be on your, like one of your customers, your challenger. So you're the one who needs to take them the distance. That's super important. And also, again, they're not going to refer anybody to you. You're not going to really be building your organization if they don't have a good experience. And our goal is for everybody to have a great experience. So, okay, what I do a couple times a week, let me make sure I'm getting everything covered. Okay, Yeah, so a couple times a week, I will check in with any challenger who hasn't been checking in, and I just have all their names saved in a note on my phone or in Dropbox or whatever, so I can quickly get to it. Mine's on a note on my phone, but you can do Dropbox or Evernote or something else that's easy to access. So I just go through and I'll say, okay, Shelly is in this group. She hasn't checked in. I'll just do a search for her name in the little magnifying glass. If she hasn't checked in a couple days, I send her a voice message. And I do this twice a week. I just go through and make sure I look to see the last time a certain person posted. And I just follow up with that person and say, hey, so-and-so, I just want to make sure. I noticed you haven't posted in a couple days. I want to make sure that you're doing okay. I always worry when I haven't heard from you or whatever it is. Just a short, sweet message. They can hear your concern and know that you care, right? So I do voicemail or Facebook Messenger, hit the little microphone and do a really short and sweet voice message. And they're quicker too. I can power through them. So that's another reason I do them. They kind of make you stick to that short amount of time, and it's just more personal than copying and pasting or typing out a message, so they can actually hear your voice, and another way to connect. So I do that 2 times a week, but I also check on them every single day. So I do a motivational post every single morning, and then we'll do like a little video of the day, and I'll tell you a little bit more about that in just a second. But then in the evening, we have a check-in post, and that's really important. So if you really want them to be interacting. So in the evening, that's when we have them rate their day, or we'll ask them what their favorite workout is so far out of the ones that they've done, or where they like to work out, or favorite snack ideas, or when they're traveling, what are some ways they can stay on track, or whatever it is. Just try to get them talking. And it doesn't necessarily even have to be about health and fitness. The goal is just to have people connecting, so with each other and with you as their coach. But I'll tell you a really quick story. My very first group I ever ran was an insanity-only group. And I just had a baby, and so I was wanting to really just get my body back after my baby. So I had an insanity only group, and that group was so engaged, and they're so they all became the best of friends. Many of the people in the group became coaches, but they just let me talk here if I knew English, and they just go from one group to the next together and keep choosing another program. And they're all great friends, and they run all the groups pretty much themselves now, because they love each other, and they have grown to be, like I said, great friends, and they've made this connection. And so that's something that's so powerful that can come out of these groups if they're done really well. It's still one of my very favorite groups of all times. So anyway, that's what it can look like if it's done right. But so what we do in our team is a point system. So they get 1 point for Shakeology at the end of the day, and they track their own points. However, if you have multiple people, multiple coaches in your group, you can have one of them tracking points for you. I forgot to mention this, and then I assign one of the coaches who's running the group with me the evening check-in post or the afternoon post or whatever, so they can do transformation stories for the program that your group is doing, or they can do, like I said, and just questions that bring interaction. So that's those are all assigned in the evenings. It's important not to have one person doing all the work, so it can be a little too much. But what we do is we have, like I said, point system. So you can get 1 point for Shakeology, which is very important because you want to make sure that they're drinking it every single day and they understand the importance of that. And you can track if they are drinking it every single day by whether or not they get a point for that. So there's 1 point for Shakeology, 1 point for their water, which is half their water weight in ounces, or half their weight in ounces of water. So if you're 110 pounds, that's 55 ounces of water, so on and so forth. Then they get 1 point for, most of my groups are the 21-day fix, or they use the containers. So they get 1 point for actually using the containers, so the correct portions, and then they get another point for actually adhering to the list of the approved foods, or the treats that are allotted each week. So they get another point for that, so that's 4. And then their 5th point is the workout that was scheduled. So not just necessarily activity, but the workout that was scheduled. So those 5 points are the basis. And beyond that, we do something a little bit different than maybe some of you, that has worked really well. And it's actually not my idea. It's from one of my rock star coaches, Regan, one of my Star Diamonds. And she started doing it, and it kind of took off like wildfire, and the groups have all sort of adopted it and been really successful with it. But you get 2 points for the video. We do a video call to action every single morning in the group, and it's just something really short and sweet, like do a plank, for hold it as long as you can, or hold a wall sit as long as you can, or a booty selfie, or what's just fun, you know, super fun. A picture or a video or whatever. And if they do it and post it in the group, they get 2 points for that. And then they get 3 points if they actually do it and tag it, post it on their Facebook page and tag their coach. So they get 3 points for that. And the reason that's important is because other people, it piques other people's interest, right? It's free advertising. They're showing, they're probably getting good results because they're doing the activities within the group and staying plugged in. But you're also getting referrals from that, and they're gonna see how easy it is to coach because people are already talking to them about what they're doing, and they're impressed by what they're doing, and they're watching their journey. And so it's just gonna be a very natural conversation for you to have when you say, have you considered coaching? Look, you're already kind of doing it. People are already talking to you about the program. They're already impressed with your results. You know, you'd be a great coach. So it's a very natural conversation to have if they're actually doing that on their page. And then we do a prize at the end. So whomever, if they keep up with their own points, like I said, or you could assign it to a coach to track, but I don't like to do that. I just, honor system, they keep up with their own, and then at the end they can get an E&E or an Energize or something from the performance line, or just whatever. You just be creative, but something, a cool prize at the end. And that kind of thing is really, it's not motivating for everyone, but it's really motivating for some. And for some who are probably going to be your rock star coaches. So that's why it's important. And then, like I said, it also makes them understand the importance of Shakeology. And then in my groups also, at least in the first couple weeks, we actually track our food. So they tell me what they had for breakfast, they tell me what they had for snack, for lunch, snack, dinner, whatever. They write it out, write out their food. And the reason they do that is because it helps me give them feedback. Like maybe they don't understand that lean cuisine isn't a great option, or that a Nutri-Grain bar is, probably not what they should be having for a snack. They don't understand any of that necessarily. Some of them might, but some of them probably won't. And so that's a good way for you to be able to give them feedback and give them suggestions. Plus, they're sharing their ideas so other people can see, oh, that looks like a really good lunch. I'm gonna make that tomorrow. What's the recipe for that, or whatever. So it gets them talking with each other, and they can get ideas from one another, and it just sort of generates a lot more feedback, and so an interaction. And that's our goal. So it can be a little tedious to have them do it every single day. We don't do that, but we do for a couple weeks at least. And some of them do it throughout just because they get used to it, and it helps them stay more accountable when they're actually listing every single thing that they had to eat. Or if they think there's an expectation that they will have to list every single thing that they have to eat, then it keeps them more accountable to that. So anyway, that's what we do in our team and our groups that work really well. We have some really great challenge groups. So today, what I want you guys to do is list your next 2 start dates for your challenge groups. So maybe it's January, February, whatever. List the next 2 start dates. So I want you to think about it. When does it make sense to actually start a challenge group? Okay, write those down. Then secondly, I would like for you to write in the comments 3 ideas that you could have your challengers do for like a video of the day challenge. So, and that's, again, you can split that up. I didn't really go into that detail, and you can figure that out. You can split those up with other coaches on your team. If you have a group coming together to run a challenge group, then you don't have to be the one doing the video of the day every single day. Split those up, assign them, and have everybody just be super creative and have a lot of fun with it. But I want you to post 3 ideas for the video of the day challenge in your group, so we can kind of generate a good list, and we can share and use what's working. So anyway, I hope you guys have a great day, and I hope you all have really amazing challenge groups.